Into the second hour of the War Room, my co-host Roger Stone joins me now. And I know that Roger has a lot of stuff he's going to want to talk about. We may have time to open up the phone lines, but you know, Roger, I want to just get this out of the way first, because again, it's been something that not only have you dealt with personally, but it's something that we're continuing to deal with, and you predicted would be happening, and also it, as you've said, is the biggest issue perhaps moving forward for President Trump's reelection, other than just literally the rigged elections, and that's the social media censorship. And Roger, it's here's my question for you, I guess. They haven't banned all of us yet. Obviously, you're banned, but I'm personally still allowed to exist on Twitter. Caitlin Bennett is still personally allowed to exist on Twitter, and there's other people that have similar views and videos and stuff. They're allowed to exist on Twitter. But as our accounts continue to get more exposure, they're going to have to do something about it, Roger. So where do you think we're at right now with the censorship from Twitter and Facebook, where the War Room is banned? We're not allowed to be on Twitter. But if you're doxing teenagers, if you're lying and targeting and harassing teenagers, you're allowed to exist, specifically in mass. They do it by the thousands. So, Roger, I just want to get your take on this. Where do you think we're at right now as far as the censorship is concerned? How much longer do conservatives have basically to exist on Twitter? Or when will people finally see the double standards of Twitter? Or will Twitter finally come around and do the right thing? Not that any of us are expecting that, but I mean, where do you think we're at right now, Roger, with the censorship, as far as how the public sees it and where the censorship goes next?
Well, Owen, I posted a terrific piece from Breitbart on my personal Facebook page and my Stone Cold Truth Facebook page, because the high number of verified tweeters calling for violence against the Covington High School students is extraordinary. And of course, while many of them took those tweets down in the face of additional information, none of them have been banned, none of them have been suspended. Yet I hurt Jake Tapper's fragile feelings in 2017, and I am banned for life. I think the answer to your question is, now Twitter is doing things that are contrary to their best business interests. Twitter's no longer about making money. I'm not even sure they make a profit. So it really is about censoring the political narrative. And I think the short answer is that, first of all, they will censor as many conservatives, as many as libertarians, as many Trump supporters as they need to win the next elections. And this will only be ended not by Twitter executives, not by public pressure, sadly enough, but by President Donald Trump directing his Justice Department to bring a comprehensive antitrust action against Twitter and Facebook and Apple and Google and Spotify and all of these sites. One of the things that's extraordinary was that Alex Jones and I sat there at the House Judiciary Committee meeting, and we heard the incoming chairman, Jerry Nadler of New York, say that the idea that conservatives were disadvantaged by Google in their Google search or disadvantaged on the internet was a right-wing conspiracy theory. This in the face of the incredible videos produced by Project Veritas, this in the face of internal emails and internal videos from Google that have been publicly released that show that the only one engaging in a conspiracy theory here is Congressman Nadler. I think that you have a very strong case for collusion. You have this, in essence, is racketeering. You would have a very hard time convincing me that Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Spotify, et al. All decided to ban Alex Jones on exactly the same day. But as Tim Cook says, they never spoke to each other and they never had any discussions. That just defies credibility. So I'm glad you led with the Covington students, because this has backfired on the left and on the mainstream media in a spectacular way. And you can see the great weight now in social media weighing in against the false narrative that was presented to us about what actually happened. And then Michael Caputo with WBEN in Buffalo, New York, who has appeared here on InfoWars numerous times, was able to put forward the actual military record of Nathan Phillips, who isn't at all who he claims to be. He's not a decorated Vietnam War veteran. He's not a Marine Corps reconnaissance ranger, a position that does not even, or rank that does not even exist. He's a left-wing provocateur who goes around the country trying to incite riots. So I think the mainstream media got spanked very badly here, Owen.
I mean, Roger, we've now entered a time beyond reasonable doubt. This is where America's at right now. You have radical leftists going out in the streets and assaulting and beating and brutalizing and bullying and harassing people. You have the mainstream media knowingly engaging in fabricated media hoaxes to target and harass certain people. And you have social media as a key tool helping them engage in all of this. And it's all allowed to exist. But on the other end of the spectrum, you have conservatives being censored like Laura Loomer, yourself, Alex Jones, where, I mean, I'm trying not to get censored on social media. So I try to, play the games with them. I never tweet anything with Islam in it. I never tweet anything with transsexual in it. Those are the buzzwords, or illegal immigrants. Those are like the buzzwords they always seem to hit. But I mean, Roger, everything that we've talked about here, as you said, and this is perhaps the most frustrating thing, everything we've said here is documented by Project Veritas. You have the Democrats admitting that they start riots. They admit it. They admit they shut down the Trump rally in Chicago. Aaron Black and Bob Kramer both got fired. You have undercover video of CNN producers and hosts saying there is no Russian collusion. We have no journalistic integrity. It's all a big fat joke. You can see the harassment that happens to the teenagers from Covington Catholic who are totally innocent in that entire situation. I mean, when is something going to give here, Roger?
Well, what's interesting is that the lawsuits that have been brought thus far against the tech giants arguing on First Amendment rights and equal protection have, generally speaking, been dismissed. And therefore, to the extent that these companies have a legal vulnerability, it is based on antitrust issues, racketeering issues, business contract issues. Jason Fike, who's appeared here on InfoWars, is making great strides in his lawsuit against Facebook, where they have literally destroyed his business just because he owns some sites that were pro-Trump, although that's not the entire bulk of his business. So there's one man who can solve this, Owen. He is the big man at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. I know he believes that he will never be censored, although I would bet that he's being shadow banned even as we speak. So when you see him reaching 3 or 5 million people, is it really 7 or 10? There's no way of knowing. I know from my own experience that I'm not reaching the kind of people on my Facebook feeds that I was in 2016. Like you, I'm very carefully not to address some topics, which is extraordinary that I have to do that. But I try to live by their very vague guidelines. The president needs to take action here. Essentially, even if they don't censor him, they're taking away the amplifying factor, the fact that his supporters are not there to push and spread his message even further and wider. And that was, if you go to my book, The Making of the President, 2016, how Donald Trump orchestrated an American revolution, which you can get on the Infowars.com site, by the way. I have an entire chapter about the role that alternative media, particularly Infowars, in the primary phase, played in the election of Donald Trump. I also think it is the single largest factor in our defeat in the House in the last election. And if the president does not address this and does not address it soon, it not only would hamper him in an impeachment fight, perhaps fatally, but it will destroy his chances for re-election.
And they're already censoring Donald Trump. I'm notified to get his tweets on all my phones. I don't get notified once.
Let's go to Wild Man in Illinois. Thanks for holding, and about to say Happy New Year. Go ahead.
Alex, yeah, going into 2019, what Trump's got to do to save America, he's got to declassify FISA, expose the corruption, arrest the traitors, and arrest the pedophiles. That's how he saves America. My opinion, an over-the-road trucker, hard-working, honest man, that's what I believe.
I agree. Victory or death. He's now, looks like he's cleaning house. He's getting rid of all the double agents. And the word is Trump is going to go into battle now. We're talking he's going to strike back against the censorship. He's going to strike back against the pedophile rings. It's already begun. He's going to strike back against the deep state. He's going to strike back against all the criminal activity of Comey and Mueller being Russian operatives. So just get ready.
Another note, I've spent over $3,000 in your store this year. I'm a loyal supporter, and thanks for great products.
Brother, let me tell you something. I want to thank you. If folks like you didn't stand with us against the incredible Hillary Clinton and Soros attacks, which they admit they're running, we would not be here now. They're taking Michael Savage off the air. They're taking everybody. They took Franklin Graham off Facebook. They need to get us all off the air before they make their move on Trump. That's why this is a war. And you supporting us is incredible. Which products do you like the best?
Man, I use the bodies. I got so many of the T-shirts that ain't even funny. I got your stickers posted on my hard hat, on my GPS, my truck. I tell truckers about you over the CB Airways all across the country. I spread the word about you. I wear your clothes, your hats, your shirts, you name it. Multitude of products.
How much love do you get versus hate do you get?
You know, it's people skeptical, but like it's probably about 50-50 or 60-40 your way. It just so many people got their head in the sand out here.